Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Trump's on his Middle East trip. Today, lifting sanctions on Syria. We're going to see just how connected this is to the removal of Bashar al-Assad, the former leader with the September 11th birthday. We're also going to go over the story that all the men care about today. As always, the sports at the top of the average American male's mind. Oh my God, how did the Mavericks get Cooper Flagg with almost no chance at the #1 pick? The Mavericks fans are saying this is justice because we lost Luka. What it is just more scripted sports, along with Jayson Tatum in his pink pussy shoes, faking an injury on the court last night. Couldn't have been any more scripted. And the shoes were highly symbolic. We're also going to look at another detail in the killing of the Philadelphia rapper, which no doubt was a sacrifice for the Super Bowl, and seemingly Meek Mill as well, who was connected big time to that Super Bowl. Years as well for the Eagles, number 52. He's a big Robert Kraft friend, they told us that season. Like, how is Meek Mill hanging out with Robert Kraft? For years, I've been talking about, I guess a little more than a couple of years, or for a long time now, we've been talking about the parallel with the same Jesuit prosecutor after Georgetown who took down R. Kelly being up Diddy's ass. And R. Kelly, of course, was known for peeing on women. Dave Chappelle did the skit, I Want to Piss on You. And the first big headline out of the first day of testimony was that Diddy made Cassie receive urine in her mouth from a male sex worker. Do you remember when Dave Chappelle saved the town of Yellow Springs? Do you remember that story? We might have to go back and pull that one up too, because it was a tribute to the R. Kelly Piss on You skit also. So yeah, that's so far that's the top story, and now it's right up there with the freak offs and the dildos. But yeah, these are all jokes, and again, it's no doubt paying tribute to R. Kelly, both men essentially going down at the same age in a very similar Jesuit ritual. We'll also look a little bit more at the Sabu death, which was announced the same day that the headline was Trump is going on this big Middle Eastern tour. It's just so obvious how related these two things are. But yeah, right here. Again, I have people make videos saying that there's what I do. There's no relevance to that. We're making this up, measuring from people's birthdays, saying there's a numerical sequence to the English alphabet. It amazes me that people put out this kind of content to this day, when day after day it's just the same thing. So again, if you don't follow the National Basketball Association, which would really stand for nothing but actors, especially with Tatum's poor performance last night. They're saying this is a miracle, that the Mavericks got the #1 overall pick and will get Cooper Flagg. I've been telling you guys for years that the draft's all rigged. It's all predetermined. You might be watching on the screen where they do a lottery ball thing and act like, oh, here's how it just happened. Again, that might as well be a magic trick. It's all predetermined. The Mavericks lose Luka. In the Lakers' 77th season, Luka goes to the Lakers, number 77. Fans are outraged, and now they get this story. A miracle comes their way. They get the next great white hope, Cooper Flagg, who wore blue and white at Duke, and now who wore blue and white with the Mavericks, almost the same uniforms, just with a different word on the jersey. But yeah, the ritual happens 142 days after his birthday. Mavericks, 142. He's 18 years old. They said the Mavs had 1.8% chance to get him. 1.8% chance they get the 18-year-old Cooper Flagg. There's really nothing more to say. This is what goes on every single year, season after season. These numerical rituals that can be seen by understanding this Kabbalistic code of letters and numbers. Again, traditionally it's a Jewish practice. Pro basketball has pretty much always been run by Jewish men, and that goes beyond the NBA. Check out the Harlem Globetrotters, etc. So, and keep in mind, in Jewish numerology, 18 represents the meaning of life. So an 18-year-old goes to the chance with 1.8% odds. And then the other big storyline on the same day was Jayson Tatum, who goes down with a totally fake injury. I mean, it just couldn't be any more obvious how fake it was. Literally nothing happened to him, and then he started spinning himself on the court and acting like there was some great pain down there. This ritual happened on the 71st day of Tatum's age. You remember what they did to Bill Walton last year at 71? They killed him on the day the Celtics advanced to the finals at age 71. And then a couple days later, Aaron Gordon's brother died at 33 in the 33rd state, Oregon, where Bill Walton won the Blazers their only championship in the 76-77 season over the 76ers. If you want to watch the highlight of the injury and the breakaway that led, it's hilarious. I always call New York 111 land, right? New York's big numbers in New York are 111 and 39. Just for the record, Brunson put up 39 yesterday, 111 days from his birthday. But Tatum goes down while New York's on 111 points. Number 8 gets the breakaway on an 8-date numerology, chased by number 8 on the Celtics, as he puts in the 113th points on a breakaway dunk. We call the NBA the 113 League, the National Basketball Association 113. Last year, Boston won the finals on 617 when the area code is 617, and 617 is the 113th prime number. That was a 113 tribute, beating Dallas, the only city in the NBA that has a 113 gematria. And maybe there was something to that too yesterday with Dallas stealing Cooper Flagg from a bunch of teams who had a much higher odds at the first pick, especially Utah and Washington. But yeah, Brunson, he did put up 39 yesterday, 111 days from his birthday. And then also the thing is they did this ritual with Tatum while he was on 42 points. And Horford, the veteran in the Celtics, was the one standing over him the whole time, number 42, checking on him with his 42 points, just Horford standing there for the scripted shot. But yeah, what's amazing is you show the average American gematria, this simple ABC 1, 2, 3 code, and how it's used every day redundantly in the same patterns in the news that we talk about year after year, like, you know, the year of the 111th World Series, where I told you in spring training that the Mets would be there with 40-1 odds to do so, and Game 3 was the only one the Mets won, and they won at 3-9, and by the way, before that game, not a lot of people followed back then in 2015. I had a much smaller audience. Actually, you know what? I got better views in 2015 with the smaller audience than I do now. Again, if you're new here, I've been deleted 20-some times. That's how bad it is right now, the censorship, that they've made this channel worse than it was in 2015. But, again, we did have the score 3-9 for the Mets to win that day. And the reason that I thought the score was going to be 3-9 in the 111th World Series, and don't forget the 111th World Series ended on November 1st, and Matt Harvey got pulled after his 111th pitch when Eric Hosmer came up to the plate with a 111 batting average and knocked in the first run to tie the game, which got Harvey pulled. But, the reason I thought the score was going to be 3-9 was not only the New York connection, but all day they were focused on the parachute. Just all of the media was covering it that day. ESPN was super focused on it. CNN was. Fox. Everyone was just focusing on the parachute incident at the 86 World Series with the Mets. And that's what I talked about. I was like, isn't it interesting how parachute is 39 and 93? I said, I think they're signaling that the score tonight is going to be 3-9. And sure enough, what do you know? The score was 3-9 that night. These numbers come together all the time with New York sports. Last year, the playoffs began on the 111th day of the leap year. We had New York to win the game with 111 last year. Sure enough, they did. But yeah, last night, Brunson drops 39, 111 days from his birthday. Again, he's that Villanova product that was perfectly synced with the new Villanova Grand Pope, as we talked about. But yeah, if you have not seen this highlight, God, I'm almost tempted to play it, but I don't want to give them a reason to copyright or block. They've been taking down a lot of my sports content for copyright. That's Gematria Effect Sports has been destroyed because of that. They used to allow me to show sports clips, but I've been losing almost everything on Gematria Effect Sports for showing anything. So if you haven't seen the highlight, again, watch it. You'll see that the Celtics were trailing with New York on their symbolic 111. The fake injury gives the ball to number 8 of the Knicks, who has a breakaway dunk with number 8 trailing him. Yesterday's date numerology was 8. But yeah, again, just as fake could be. And Yeah, they got Boston on the ropes after this major Villanova ritual. If you missed what I just showed about the new Pope, the Villanova product, and don't forget who was telling you weeks in advance that the Pope was going to have something to do with Philadelphia, the 267 area code for the 267th Pope, and how it had to synced in with Philly winning the last Super Bowl 59 when that was Pope Francis's number. Again, it is all scripted together. But yeah, watch this highlight if you haven't seen it. It is super laughable. It's probably, there's a lot of fake injuries in sports. This is probably the worst acting ever. Probably the worst ever. And here, again, I wrote a book about this in 2017, the killing of rappers in 74. We covered this yesterday, how they had to say the shooting was at about 4:40 p.m. when shooting, execution, and kill equals 44. That's a big pattern too. Again, this Philadelphia rapper who was fighting gun violence is dead from gun violence on the 131st day of the year. Mainstream media syndicating him in an Eagles jersey when the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Don't forget on the 112th day of the year, they just dropped the story about Jalen Hurts getting married to Bly Burrow. Of course, Burrow's the surname of the Bengals quarterback who has big connections to Joe Montana, and the Niners are hosting the Super Bowl. But anyway, this is the piece that I didn't have in yesterday's story. They're saying the killing of this young man, actually I need to come back to the Meek Mill piece too. They're saying the killing of this young man was the 74th homicide in Philadelphia this year. And that's what I've talked about 1,000 times. The killing of rappers in 74. LGB Qua, 74. Rapper, 74. Killing, 74. Tupac's alias, Machiavelli, 74. Remember, Tupac died on the second anniversary of the 94 assault weapons ban, at least so we're told, from gun violence. But yeah, I always want to say unbelievable, but it's also just super predictable. It's just the type of thing that drives me nuts and makes you go, why doesn't everybody know about this? Why doesn't everyone in Philadelphia learn about this today? If you didn't already know about this, why aren't you already learning about it today? Yesterday. Yeah, this 74 detail is just ridiculous. But here's the other thing. Meek Mill. Meek Mill just turned 38 years old. Remember, they did all the stories about Meek Mill and Robert Kraft when the Eagles beat the Patriots the first time around, but Meek Mill just turned 38. Jonathan and I are working on finishing the book 38 special. So we're 5 days after Meek Mill's 38th birthday. A rapper he's friends with is also dead. Again, with the alphabetic order, A is 1 up to Z is 26. Rapper equates to 74. When you apply numerology to each letter, rapper is 38. And notice also that LGB Qua is 7488, just like rapper is. So, right after Meek Mill's 38th birthday. And don't forget, Meek Mill's born on the 6th of May, which can be written 6-5. We call Philadelphia the 65 city. State of establishment, October 27th, leaves 65 days left in the year. Philly, 65. When they lost in Super Bowl 57, they had to report that they'd solved the boy in the box murder from 65 years earlier. Last year was Andy Reid, or not Andy Reid. It was the Chiefs' 65th season as Andy Reid faces his old team. Andy Reid picked up his 61st loss with the Chiefs in that game, losing to Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. Meek Mill's also born in 87. It's probably part of the reason they've synced him up with the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles 87. Meek Mill hanging out with Robert Kraft before the first go-round. The Diddy Cassie thing, this thing about peeing in her mouth, again, happened yesterday, 106 days before her birthday. Again, Diddy was arrested on the day, leaving 106 days left on the year, 56 days after the anniversary and No Way Out. It was the 27th anniversary, the big ritual number. So I'm just waiting to see what they got lined up for May 21st, Biggie's birthday. You know the ritual's coming. The house raid was on the anniversary of Biggie's album, Life After Death. But yeah, this peeing in the mouth is a tribute to R. Kelly. And I've already been drawing the parallels over and over with what they're doing to Diddy and R. Kelly. And in fact, before Diddy even went down at 54, I was saying, don't forget how they did R. Kelly at age 54. And remember, R. Kelly got sentenced on the Jesuits' anniversary of being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. this year on that same anniversary, or I should say last year on September 27th, that's the same day R. Kelly was sentenced in history. Last year, the story was that R. Kelly got a woman pregnant with a RAPE, one letter off from rap. But again, September 27th leaves 95 days left in the year. Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses. Yesterday, we talked about how now there's only two people, there's only two accusers after months of all these supposed accusers, young children, all kinds of people. But now the trial's here after all the ritual shaming. And realize the damage is already done, right? All those stories got a ton of headlines. The trial so far has been kind of quiet. I thought the trial would be more front and center based on how much hype there was leading up to this. But maybe that's because there's not really anything to it, right? You got the Cassie story and a Jane Doe. And don't forget how Jane Doe equals either, in light of him going down at 54. Jane Doe equals 54. So, yeah, just a whole lot of hearsay in the build-up, and now we're here, and it's Cassie and some other anonymous person, which really means the whole story is just centered on Cassie. Now, here's what I want to point out with the Sabu death. The day that it becomes the headline that Trump's getting a plane from Qatar and he's going on this big trip to the Middle East to pander to the oil nations. Again, Sabu's dead at 60. Donald Trump equals 60. He won the 60th election. He sacrifices ex-wife exactly 60 weeks into the first Jesuit Ignatian year. Notice how his birth name, Sabu, Terrence Michael Brunk, equates to 201 and 93 like Order of Illuminati. Says he started with Extreme Championship Wrestling in 93. He quit it not long before 9/11. Notice from his birthday to his death was 150 days later. Extreme Championship Wrestling is 150 like Illuminati. And he died on a Sunday, right? And don't forget, Trump's in the Illuminati card deck. In the Enough is Enough card, which equals 78, like how he's 78 right now. But this man died on a Sunday, and they say the sun is 93 million miles away on average, or 150 million kilometers away on average. Again, the sun illuminates the world. 150 and 93 go with the titles of the Illuminati. We see these numbers get paired together a lot in Ritual. A blatant one that everyone remembers is Alec Baldwin smoking the Ukrainian woman at 150 local time, born on the 93rd day of the year. They compared it to Brandon Lee getting killed during the Crow. Brandon Lee was buried on Alec Baldwin's birthday on the 93rd day in 93. And Brandon Lee's death was compared to that of his father, who died while filming Game of Death, and his father died on the 201st day of the year. July 20th, if I'm not mistaken, in 1973. And again, Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee are buried together right outside the Jesuit University in Seattle. The Jesuit order equals 201. Again, the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati. Trump's Jesuit educated. But yeah, again, it's just like everybody should know at this point that Trump is literally Illuminati. He's their puppet. And there are a lot of bodies for him, just like other people who are part of the, Illuminati world puppet stage. I know somebody left a really great comment the other day about this man's death, and there was a whole lot of information in it. And I read it, and I didn't retain it all. Or I didn't even retain much, unfortunately. It's part of being fatigued. Again, it's almost to 6 months since she was born, man. It's like, I can't wait until the day where she starts to sleep for a lot longer chunks of time, man. Our little girl likes to sleep for 1 to 2 hours at a time. King Richard had another observation here. Terrence Brunk, I see. He said just the first and last name is also 150 and 60. Yeah. Oh God, wow, that's crazy. He has another connect. That's wild. His full name is also 201. Or I mean, just his first and last name is 201 and 60, like his age of death, and 150 days. Yeah, I mean, yeah, all of you guys who sit out there and make videos and saying that there's nothing to this measuring from the birthday, and I just made all that up. It's like, I researched what I heard about, and I saw there was definitely something to it. And every day I'm showing you the same kind of stuff. So when you guys are sitting here saying that this is all some kind of coincidence, I mean, I feel like you guys should be ashamed of yourself. I think that's how you should really feel. Ashamed that you're trying to minimize what we're exposing, which is people being ritually murdered, elections being rigged, people investing their energy in this rigged system, from the politics to the sports to the news, becoming part of agendas that don't serve them at all. Yeah, a great additional comment here, King Richard. So, thank you. And again, if you guys can leave your comments here, if you can just do a copy and paste, you can always try to leave it on YouTube, but YouTube does like to delete comments, especially good ones. If you just got it ready to paste, you can hop over to my website. You can probably paste it in 1 second. I think my website does make you sign up one time, just like register. I think we had to do that long ago because we had trolls bombing the thing, but you register one time and just click the save password. You should be in there. So, again, the nice thing about my website, no ads or anything. And if you guys ever need a gematria calculator without ads, it is here on the calculator tab. So, this calculator is the same thing as Derek's. It's not as colorful, but no ads. And it is a lot smoother, too. Anyway, let's see. Thank you, Mike Rawson, for being a member for 24 months. I do appreciate that. Let me open up the phone line here. I can go for about 20 minutes with calls. See if you guys have anything else to add on. If you got anything for today's stories, or shout out to Nick who sent 5 on the PayPal. I appreciate that. If you got anything to add to these stories or other stories that are buzzing, it is that 509 number on the screen. And I just got everything ready to go here for calls. Yeah, if you guys want to phone in, the line is open. The line is open. And while we wait on that first call, I'll see if there is anything else circulating in the headlines right now. Caitlin Clark. Whenever I see Caitlin Clark, I think of that Adam Sandler voice. I'm trying to think what movie that is. Or maybe it was more appropriate as Austin Powers. Remember Austin Powers' line about a lot of the supposed women? Let me see here. All right. Nothing else buzzing on ESPN, CNN. Oh, did I skip the serious story? Maybe I skipped the serious story. My bad. The serious story, you guys. Today's got 27 date numerology. Syria equals 27. And today's 156 days after Bashar al-Assad left power, who has a 9/11 birthday. 9/11 is the 156th prime. The whole thing about planes coming from the Middle East. The dead, Sabu. Now this. What's up? What's up, 573?
Hello,
What's up?
You doing good? Yeah. There's a connection between the Champions League final with Paris Saint-Germain versus Inter Milan, connection with the Pope.
Is there any way you can make your phone sound a little more clear? It just sounds kind of like you're far from the phone.
What about now? Can you hear me better?
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a connection between the Pope and soccer club Champions League final. It's called Inter Milan versus PSG Champions League final. There's a connection between the Pope.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be Inter Milan winning it because they're mostly Catholic. That's my guess,
Okay.
And the new Pope connected with the World Cup 2026 and Trump,
All right, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't follow enough about international football to know, but I'll take your word for it.
All right. That's about it.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
All right,
Bye.
take care, man. That's it. One of the members of the Spinners is dead. That's sad. I like the Spinners. Looks like it's in the headlines today and yesterday, and they're saying he died on Sunday. I'll tell you something that spins. The Earth around the sun, dead on a Sunday. Man, he had a Christmas Day birthday, too. The day that the Catholic Church celebrates the son's birthday. Sol Invictus. Died 137 days after his birthday. I'll have to take a look at that. 414? Oh, hold on. Something's up with that. Hold on. I got to fix it because it's doing the wrong thing. All right, let's try that out. 414. What's up?
How you doing, Zach? I have a question about decoding. How exactly does the Fibonacci and the triangular numbers factor into breaking down, let's say, like a baseball game or a basketball game?
Pretty much like everything else, but they're not as, I mean, they definitely do pay tribute to the Fibonacci sequence. So, I mean, let's say it's the 8th of the month. What's the 8th Fibonacci number? 21, right? You could, sometimes that 21 will play strong on the 8th. And triangular numbers, again, just like how you'd imagine, it's the 13th of the month. Maybe a coach can get his 91st win or loss. 91's the 13th triangular. So those things do play, but again, not always super consistent either.
More like the prime numbers?
Like when it's that type of thing, because sports are usually slated where there's early games and late games, if it's the 8th and you're like, wow, 3 games are in and the 21 hitting all 3, and look at that, there's 2 games later today where the 21 could play. It might be a good inkling that 21's coming through that night. But not always my favorite way to go off the triangular and the Fibonacci. So
yeah, I was just looking for a better understanding because I understand prime numbers and the basic numbers. It's just that was kind of confusing to me. So I appreciate your clarity.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. You take care. It says he had a stroke in 2000. He died in Atlanta on the 33rd parallel. Again, he died 137 days after his birthday. That's the 33rd prime number. ATL, the common abbreviation for Atlanta's 33. Atlanta on the 33rd parallel, 84th meridian. Let me see if we're near any. The Spinners predate Motown. They came out in 54. Is he not an original member? He's not an original member. 336? 336, hello?
Hey, Zach, Hubbard. This is Jonathan calling from Greensboro. I've been following you since 2014. And I just had to call in to say I was watching the Knicks game. I'm a slight Knicks fan, and I saw that they said the series for the career of the playoffs of the Celtics and the Knicks, they were 8-7. Celtics 8 series that they beat the Knicks in the playoffs, and the Knicks won 7. So as soon as I saw, and I got to call that because I'm thinking Knicks win this series, that's 88, right?
Madison Square Garden's 88 as well. Yeah. The last, just to remind you guys, the last place Pope Francis spoke when he was in America was in Madison Square Garden on the 25th of September, and Pope equals 25, so does finals. That's what I've been saying. This new Pope thing has given a very Villanova Knicks narrative. So we'll see what happens. They're on the verge.
Yes, we are. But yeah, I just wasn't calling, and when I heard that, I was like, man, I got to call Zach on that one.
Yeah.
That was it. But keep doing what you do, brother, and I really do appreciate your work, man. Like I said, been following since 2014, man.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care. I noticed the gematria of the spinners is 150 and 60, and he died the same day as the wrestler who died 150 days after his 60th birthday. Again, 150 does relate to the distance of the sun, 150 million kilometers away on average. The word order is 60. Essentially, you could say the order of this earth is determined by the sun, time, the way we dictate time, the possibility of life, but there's probably something to that I'm overlooking. Two big celebrities dead on the same Sunday with the same numbers. 315. What's up, 315?
Hey, how we doing, Zach?
Doing all right. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's going on? I sent you a text message. It's a Karl Anthony Towns. They swapping his Eagles shirt during the middle of a basketball game. During the season, they showed it on ESPN. I don't know if you want to play it on the stream at all, but that should probably tell you the clue with the finals and the Super Bowl connection, and also the making of a legend. There's only one basketball player that was in that one current basketball player that was in the making of the legend, and that was Jalen Brunson. And if you remember, the place where Kobe had his case, that whole making of the legend was about the Kobe case and his rape case. And if you remember where it was at, it was in Denver. And the place that he flew from to the Colorado game, the place was called Eagle County.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just the Towns thing you said, again, just reminds that the Eagles won their first Super Bowl in 52 in Minnesota. And that goes with the whole Pope thing. Because, again, the Knicks beat Minnesota 52 years ago, and the Knicks played Minnesota in the 52 championship. Back then, they were the Lakers. And then you're talking about Kobe and the Eagles. So, and Kobe's from Philadelphia, and Black Mamba equals 59, and the Eagles won 0-59. So, yeah, there is a larger puzzle there. That's interesting.
Yeah, it seems like if the Nuggets and the Knicks were to match up, I think this would be the first time ever that they matched up in the postseason.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And that's the Carmelo narrative right there with that story buzzing. Again, Carmelo goes to the Hall of Fame the same day as the stabbing story. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that part, but, yeah. That's what that's looking like. That making of the legend is Jalen Brunson, the only current NBA player playing right now, was in that Kobe Making of the Legend film. And they had the Eagle County in Denver where Kobe came back. He hit the game winner, 13 points. And he had to fly into Denver.
Yep.
So, yep. That's what I got for you.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
You have a good day. Take care. All right. He sent me a YouTube video. It's not a photo, but if anybody wants to look at the video, what he's talking about, Karl Anthony Towns Eagles jersey during Knicks 76ers ruffled some feathers. This was posted on January 16th, 2025. Funny, the video only has 52 likes. That seems weird. Just saying about Suro 52. All right, if you guys do want to be part of the show, now is the time to phone in, because I do got to wrap this up pretty soon. Let's see. Speaking of Motown, let's go out to Detroit. 313. You're on. What's up, 313? Hello.
Hey, Zach, how you doing, my brother? My brother Zach. How you doing, my brother?
Going on, man. How are you?
Good. All right. Hey, Zach, I just wanted to point one thing out, and I know you because I know somebody just talked about that. Long story short, two things. That game last night, because I'm not a really sports fan like I used to, but all I know is this. It's funny because, like, when I was looking at that, the highlights on YouTube, I looked at it, and all of a sudden, because you started, I'm quite sure you saw the game, but it's funny because, like you said, and just like, when Tatum got injured like that, and I said to myself, I said, you know what? I said, I knew it. I knew it because it's funny how how this stuff happens all the time. Because I remember, I think some weeks ago, I heard about, how Kyrie, he got injured like that. And when he got, like Tatum last night, when he got injured, I told him, I said, man, you know what? I said this stuff. I said, I knew it. I knew this stuff was gonna happen all the time because it's like you said, that time and time again. There's a reason, and all this stuff is basically it's all connected. It's all perfectly connected, and it's all rigged because just like Steph Curry. I don't know. Like I'm saying, like what was your thoughts on him getting injured last night? The way it happened. Like what's your thoughts, Zach, about that?
About the injury?
Yeah, he got injured, and yeah, go ahead.
I talked about it at the beginning of the stream, actually. It's a total hoax. It's just as fake can be. There's nothing that even, I mean, if he's that weak of, I was saying that's why he got those pink pussy shoes on too.
That's why I said, you know, I already know Zach is gonna be on it. He gonna be on it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I need you on Zach.
Well, here, I'll break it down one more time. I got it up on the screen right now. So if you guys watch, here's what's hilarious. Again, I always call New York the land of 111 and 39. Last night, Brunson dropped 39 points, 111 days from his birthday. But look at how it's set up too. There's 3:09 on the clock with New York on 111 when the injury is about to go down. But again, you watch the breakaway after the turnover, which is part of the injury play. You have number 8 chasing number 8 on 8 date numerology. And if the Knicks win this series, they'll be 8-8 versus the Celtics in the postseason all time in terms of series. And Madison Square Garden's also 88. So, and you just had the Pope die at 88, and the whole Knicks narrative has now been set up through the new Pope who went to Villanova, like 3 of their players, including Brunson. Here, for people who haven't seen this, I'm gonna see if I can get away with it. I'm gonna play in slow motion. Just watch this real quick. I got it on the screen. Watch. Brown's about to get it knocked away. Tatum's gonna lean in for it. This is supposedly the injury that just made Tatum have to scream out and circle around on the ground like he just never been hurt. What annoys me is just somebody like when men get hurt on a sports field, they usually don't act like the biggest pussy and the biggest little girl there ever was out there. They usually kind of try to tough it out. But I mean, we're talking about a guy who doesn't even get touched here. I mean, he doesn't even fall down on the ground hard. And but just watch how both 8s are what are running down the court after the ball becomes loose on this 8 date numerology. Check this out. There's Tatum. This is supposedly the worst injury ever. Oh my God. So you got 8 and 8, the only 2 guys down near the basket. Boom. 8 date numerology. I mean, it just scripted. And again, New York's on 111. Now they're going up to 113. And then Boston's going to finish the game on 113 points. And we call the NBA the 113 league. It's a total joke. It's a total joke.
Again, that's what I said, Zach. That's what I said. This is why all I know. I'm gonna let you go. This is the reason why I keep telling people, like you said, they need to shut these sports leagues down because how a lot of these players, like you said, how a lot of these players are getting sacrificed over rituals. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, like you said, it's like because you said it time after time and again is that they put this stuff in your face. Well, people just can't be dang because the thing about it is that, like you said, is that the information, like all you got to do is just look at it, like you said, because I want to exactly one thing. I live in Michigan. Just want to know if I want to take advantage of the page around. I'm just saying, like, what is a good time to do it? To take advantage of it.
To take advantage of what exactly?
I live in Michigan, and I'm just want to know, like if I was to take advantage of that Patreon, like how would I go about doing, like of taking advantage of it? Like how would I go about doing that?
Well, I mean, we look at the rig sports every single day on my Patreon. You got to look at what the laws are in your state. I know there are a lot of callers in my community from 313. I'd say that's probably one of the most active since you're from the 313, you might make some new friends in there. I got probably more honestly, when I think about it, I might have more callers from 313 than any other area code. So
Right. I was just trying to figure like that's what I want to ask you. Like, how do you go? Because about going on there doing that, doing that. Because I know y'all do those like those sports. I guess like I guess all the time, pretty much, or just what?
yeah, we do it every day. I do it. I don't take any breaks. We do it every day of the year. I stream every day on Patreon at 10 a.m. Pacific. That's 1 Eastern. I forget, is Detroit on Eastern Standard Time or you guys Central Time?
I think I believe we are Eastern time. I believe so.
Let me double check what time it is. Time in Detroit right now. Let me see if you guys are 2 or 3 hours ahead of me. Yeah, you are on Eastern Standard Time. So it'd be I stream at 1 p.m. your time, except for on Wednesday and Thursday. I stream an hour earlier, so I stream noon your time Wednesday and Thursday. You don't have to be in the live stream. You can watch it anytime after. But I mean, if you're trying to take advantage of the games, you obviously want to watch it before the games start. We do it early so people can get the information out there and talk about it and think about it before the day starts. But yeah, we do it every day.
Right. Exactly. I want to ask you just one other thing. I'm gonna let you go. You know that wrestler who died, right? About like that. You know, it's funny because long story short, I remember like one of my friends used to watch. He used to watch wrestling all the time. Then, like, cause I started watching it too a lot. But the thing that kind of what is fascinating is that when he told me basically like that when I saw that wrestler who died the other day, and I looked at it, I was like, wow. But the thing about it is what made me stop watching wrestling a lot is because what my friend told me about it, he said that a lot of that stuff is like three things. It's choreographed, and it's choreographed, storyline, and it's fake. And that's something serious. That's the thing that kind of made me stop wrestling. Just like, and I know you probably talked about that dude. Ultimate Warrior. The way Ultimate Warrior died. I mean, it's like I didn't watch that stuff for about at least a year, but I know you probably broke it down, all of that.
Yeah, indeed. So, anyway, man, I appreciate it. I got to get off here pretty quick though, because I got to go pick up Sweet Girl. I want to let a few more people get in before I got to go, but I appreciate the call. Thank you.
Okay, Zach, we'll take care. Have a blessed day, and I hope you bless and take care. You're going to say words out of my head, but I forgot. But yeah, take care. Have a blessed day.
All right, man. Appreciate that. You have a good day too. You take care. Right. See you, man.
All right, take care.
All right, hold on, 314. I got to switch some things around here. Oh, we're good. Go ahead, 314.
Yeah, I was calling to see to tell you about some of the notes I had yesterday on the Knicks game. I think it was definitely connected with the new Pope. Yesterday was the 58th playoff game this season in the NBA. And, Pope Leo XIV equals 58. He was elected on 5/8.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yep. Yep.
Villanova Knicks equals 58 also.
And they made a point too about how in the Holy War, when Villanova played St. John's, they went 3-1 while he was at the school as a student. So there must be something about 3-1 in this guy too. Go ahead.
And then also the best part was the Knicks picked up their 58th win last night of the season.
Yeah, that also makes sense.
To go with all the 58th playoff game for the whole NBA playoffs, and then they got their 58th win. Yeah. The Pope equals 58. Yeah. And then also if you look up, Villanova fired their head coach, their basketball head coach, 58 days before yesterday.
Wow. Again, just how, like we always say, college and pro are scripted together. I said the same point a million times over the years. So, wow, good catch.
And then also their new head coach, Kevin Willard, it was 36 days after his birthday, and Villanova equals 36.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Huh.
And then also it was 125 days before the new Pope, Pope Leo, his birthday, and Wildcats is 125.
So is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And yesterday could be written 12/5.
And yesterday was 12/5. Yep. And then also, funny enough, Villanova's new head coach, he was an assistant head coach for the Celtics back in 97 to 2001.
Huh. Yeah. 97. 24.
Yeah. And then the Celtics, they picked up their 199th road loss yesterday, and Villanova Wildcats is 199.
Yeah, it's crazy how aligned it all is. For anyone here, I'll pull it up here again for anyone who missed how aligned the 3 Villanova players are on the Knicks and the one who got sent to the Timberwolves with the new Pope in his announcement. Again, it's a reminder that like how born and bred these guys are to be. Why is that not pulling it up? Hold on. Pope
And
Leo XIV. Go
if
ahead.
you don't mind me adding one more thing, Zach. Yesterday, the Knicks got off to kind of a rough start, and they were down in the first half, and they came back in the second half. And, I had all the 58s on their side, picking up that 58th win for the Pope and all these other things. They ended up coming back from 14 down, and this is Pope Leo the 14th.
Yep, no doubt. That's part of it.
And I was like, wow. And then Tatum goes down in this game too, and I was just like, wow. And then, like I said, you've been talking about the 22 on Tomlin's the coach record. He's picking up that 22 win if they win the series.
His 22nd win with the Knicks in the postseason. That's what we saw before the series because that was before they even named the Pope. We said, well, if Thibodeau wins the series, he'll have 22 playoff wins with the Knicks. Boston equals 22, and 46 total playoff wins with the other teams he's coached with. Celtics 46. So that's pretty interesting right there. And he's on the verge of doing it.
Doesn't Knicks equal 22 also?
Yeah, Knicks and Boston both equal 22. Yeah, and in Game 3, Boston won by 22 the first game in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, and Boston 22 is so strong. Like, they went to their 22nd finals appearance in 2022.
Yep. Always. Yeah, Boston 22.
When they
cashed
played the
yesterday
Warriors.
in baseball. Probably cash again today. I think if I remember right, it's in the Red Sox game again today. I have to double check. But yeah, Boston in 22 just plays very consistently. So repetitive. Here, you guys. The day that we got the new Pope who went to Villanova, it was 200. It was the 251st day of Brunson's age. That's the 54th prime. Villanova equals 54. It was 251 days after Mikal Bridges' birthday. Again, 54th prime. He also went to Villanova. Pope means pontiff, which means bridge builder. Mikal Bridges, and for Josh Hart, who also went to Villanova, it was the 64th day of his age. Villanova Wildcats is 64. And then for DiVincenzo, who got sent to Minnesota, who was on New York, who they did the ad for March Madness, it was 97 days after his birthday, the 25th prime, where Pope's 25. And again, the Pope becomes the Pope on the 8th day of the 5th month, like basketball's 85, and Villanova won the first March Madness in 85 over the Jesuit school. Again, think about how perfect it has to be for these men to happen to be on these teams with these birthdays, all synced up with the new Pope. That shows you all of this shit was planned so long ago. For all of you guys out there who think you have a chance at being in the league, not really. You got to be in the club. You got to have the right daddy. You went to the right Catholic Jesuit school. They got it all planned out for you. They wrote the script long in advance. It's just like when a book gets turned into a movie 20 years after it was written as a book. That's this same type of thing. It's like these scripts were written so long ago. These guys were born for the parts. Anyway, go ahead and give us a few more. You got some good ones.
Yeah, did you see the Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton at the WWE SmackDown in MSG?
Somebody brought that up just the other day, and I didn't know about that until they called in about it.
Yeah, so they faced off in a WWE match in Madison Square Garden, and of course, if the Pacers and the Knicks win, they'll face each other in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, and back in the day, that used to be the rivalry, the Knicks and the Pacers back in the Reggie Miller days. Those teams were always going at it, so that was the rivalry.
Yeah, I've been keeping a close look on the new Pope and Pope Francis as well. I definitely think that NBA Finals is going to have to do something with them or Trump also, but I think mostly just the Popes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, really great research. Great call. Yeah, excellent job. Way to use the knowledge.
Yeah, I've been looking out for the 58s. I know Anthony Edwards wears number 5, but I don't know another superstar on a different team that wears the number 8.
Yeah, by the way, hold on.
The 2-8.
About you making that point, again, for people who have not figured it out, Anthony Edwards is the son of Jordan, just like Jimmy Butler, and they got them playing against each other while Jordan's 62 years old. Did you guys see the headline about how Jordan joined ABC for the broadcast commentary, and he did it 85 days from his birthday, and it was also 85 days from Edwards' upcoming birthday, Anthony Edwards, who's clearly his son. They should just cross out the Edwards, and his name should be Anthony Jordan. But yeah, basketball in 85, so...
There was a AI image of him bald, and he looks just like Jordan.
Yeah, his face looks just like... He already looks just like Jordan. You don't even need to see him bald.
Yeah, it was. I mean, with the picture though, he was like a little sweaty. He had a bald head, and he was smiling. I mean, he looked just like Jordan. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he definitely.
But it was also funny. It was also funny yesterday. You know, of course, the Timberwolves won on the full pink moon yesterday. They supposedly said.
Yeah. Wolves howl at the moon.
Yeah, of course. The Timberwolves. Yep, with the moon in the logo. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday was Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had. I just seen a lot of connections with the Pope, and I thought the Knicks were a lock yesterday with all the 58s in the Pope's favor and everything, and all the Villanova connections. But yeah, I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you.
Yeah, very good research. Well done. All right, take care, man.
Thank you.
That's it. Hey, Mason with the newborn out there. I appreciate the generosity. Save that money for your daughter. Why is the newest guy here who has a newborn daughter the only super chatter? Thank you, Mason, but stop it. And Mason's filling the New York thing too with everything going on in the world. What's up, 917? 917, hello.
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
So I saw that the clock stopped, I guess, at 2:58. I don't know if anybody has caught that with the injury. And we know that 2:58 is the number of the beast in Gematria.
Yeah, New York has that 666 connection. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of connections that are going around with the Back to the Future and the theme of the orange and blue. You know, we saw the Gators just win the championship.
And what I've been saying about the Mets.
I know.
Yeah, orange and blue is definitely a thing. Gators, you're right. Mets, Knicks.
You got the Thunder that could possibly make it. They have that.
They do have orange and blue, you're right.
9/11 connections going on.
They got orange and blue too.
They got the 9/11 going. The Alex Caruso and Isaiah Joe on that team. They wear number 9 and 11.
For the record, the Thunder won the play-in on the Pope's 88th birthday. That did happen.
And they equal 88.
Or I called it play-in. What do they call it? They call it
Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about that at the time. They're the only 88 team in the league. They won the in-season tournament on the Pope's 88th birthday is what they did. That's what they call it.
I'll tell you this. We had the George Foreman death this year on March 21st. Willis Reed died in the same city on the same day in 2023.
Yeah, crazy. And that's...
and if you measure...
That was the year that... Willis Reed went to Creighton. That was the last year. That was the year that Creighton was the last remaining Jesuit team in the tournament. Yeah.
If you measure his the day he passed away to game 1 of the finals, you get 2 years, 2 months, 2 weeks. The term New York, as if you're going to write the address or something, it's 222. Also, it was 808 days. Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously, that 88. That's pretty interesting. I was able to see that. Another interesting one is if you measure the last time the Knicks won a ring, May 10th, 73 to game 1, you get 19,019 days. Again, Willis Reed, number 19. So it's a little interesting to me maybe that the Knicks make it to the finals again this year. They beat Indiana. Again, this looks like a copy of 2013. It was the Knicks and the Celtics. Then it was the Knicks and the Pacers. Obviously, the Pacers won that year, but maybe the Knicks flipped that script and they end up going to the finals.
Yeah.
So it's a little interesting, the Back to the Future stuff going on, and the Boston Celtics selling their team. I think that was a big sign that they probably weren't going to go anywhere when they sold the team, in March, for $6.1 billion. They finished the season with 61 wins.
And New York Knicks does equal 61. Yeah, they are facing the 61 team. Exactly. New York Knicks is 61.
And then you got the orange and blue, like Edmonton Oilers might make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. The Islanders just had a very slight chance to get in the first pick. They get the first pick. Michael J. Fox from Edmonton. I mean, it seemed like the blue and orange is really coming through. Obviously, with the Thunder, like we said before. So possible. no guarantees, obviously. If
Hold
people
on.
still
All of a
think the
sudden, I'm
Celtics
getting
are
this
gonna come
idea.
back, I don't
All of a
know.
sudden, I'm getting this idea just from where I grew up. I was like, man, somebody better guard AC Green because AC Green played for the Orange and Blue in Portland, Oregon. He's one of the best high school players to come out of Portland ever, the Virgin. He played for the Blue and Orange team, the Benson Techman. I see he's 61 right now. AC Green, look out, AC. They were dropping bodies last year for people connected to Oregon for the finals. Again, NBA Finals is 33, like Oregon's the 33rd state. So yeah, there is definitely something going on with the Orange and
Gotta
Blue.
hope he's protected.
Yeah,
Gotta hope that he's protected. You know.
Yeah.
The last thing I have is it's something that is might be a little far fetched, but since we're talking about the Back to the Future. The rapper Fabulous, he dropped a music video called, for a song. It's a very inspired by Back to the Future. The song's called You Made Me. It came out May 30th, 2015. And the interesting thing about that is if the Knicks were to win in 6 or 5, I think if they move the series back, it'll be either before or to the exact date of that music video. And currently, as we stand, it's been 9 years and 11 months since that video came out, as well as 119 months. So you got that 111, you got the 9/11, you got the, you know what I mean? You got that connection. And we know that Fabulous is a New York Knicks fan, and he's one of the guys sitting courtside at these games and stuff like that. And he also, people forget because they think about Jay-Z, he dropped on this September 11th, 2001, he dropped his album Ghetto Fabulous that day. People forget about that because they think about the Blueprint from Jay-Z, which also came out that day. So this might be a connection with that. Just because of Back to the Future, I'm not, like I said, it could be a little far-fetched, but it definitely is a possibility. So I just wanted to let people know that maybe that is what's going to happen. Maybe that's what they have planned with the Back to the Future references going around.
Okay, I'm gonna let somebody else get in, but great observation. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right,
take care, man.
Keep it up, man.
Yeah, you too. 814, what's up? 814, hello.
Hey, it's Jared again.
Oh, hey, Jared.
I was hoping I was going to catch a live stream. This isn't really a sports thing, but I know it's important. So, going back to the Pope's death. Now, when they elected the Pope on the 128th day of the year, and as you know, Pontiff is bridge builder. What do you think of when you think of bridge in 128?
Well, of course, what happened in Baltimore? Baltimore, yeah.
Yeah, the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, which was on 26/3, like the 56 prime. And I want to take a wild stab in the dark of how long it was from then until Pope Francis dying, if you count the span. 56 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Crazy.
And then, of course, they elect the Pope on 5/8, and that was 58 weeks.
And Baltimore has that 58 connection too. Baltimore has that big 58 connection.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about at the time, because I was saying how there was also a connection with for people who didn't know about the bridge collapse, if you need a reminder, it came down at 1:28 in the morning. Bridge collapse equals 128, 128 days from Francis Scott Key's birthday, 128 days from Biden's birthday. And remember, the bridge collapsed in Pittsburgh on January 28th when he was in Pittsburgh to talk infrastructure, and that was the Fern Hollow Bridge, which also equals 128. What they say that there was that painting called was it called the Broken Bridge in the Dream? Yeah, it was 128. The Salvador Dali painting. The media brought this up, like CNN and Fox News brought this up, that the bridge reminded them of the Salvador Dali painting, the Broken Bridge in the Dream. And we're like, wait a minute. I mean, because the ship was the Dali, and it came down on Nancy Pelosi's birthday, and she was in Singapore, where the ship was from, on Francis Scott Key's birthday. And not to mention her father, who was the 41st mayor of Baltimore. Like, Baltimore also equals 41 in Key does. It came down, or he has the same birthday as Francis Scott Key. But Baltimore also has the 58, and if you measure when that bridge came down, it was 58 days from Baltimore losing to Kansas City in the AFC Championship in the year of Super Bowl 58, which landed on the Vatican's birthday, which is bringing you back to how you're now seeing this lines up with the Pope being named on 5/8. Yep. So, okay, go ahead.
Yep, and the conclave begins 58 weeks later. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It almost feels like they're making this easier for us sometimes. I don't even know, but I just wanted to throw that out there, make sure that. But all right, I got to get going. But
all right,
Jared.
Jared.
For the call.
Yeah, good thinking as always, man. Appreciate it.
Later.
Thank you.
Okay, later.
One other thing I forgot to cover yesterday when I was talking about the Diddy trials, did you guys see the judge, Arun Subramanian, if I'm saying that right? But look at his name, 59, right? 59. Like Bad Boy Records, like Slave, like Negro, like Blues, like Motown in 59. And again, there was the Motown guy that discovered Diddy. It's just, it's a joke, isn't it? I mean, just the same stuff over and over. The biggest joke is all the people who are like, oh, you could probably make anything equal anything. It's like, does Zachary equal 59? I mean, your whole theory is debunked. Come with a better argument. What's up, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Is this Dave?
Yeah, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
I didn't know if you were talking to me. Just real quick, I want to add something to the 113 narrative, the 12-foot statue in Times Square. It will be displayed until June 17th, 617, the 113th prime.
And again, the Boston area code and New York might be getting this symbolic series win over New York here sooner than later. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to add the 113 to it.
All right. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I'll call you tomorrow. I got some stuff tomorrow, but for the paying customers.
All right. Appreciate that, Dave. Thanks, man.
All right.
Talk
to you tomorrow. Bye.
Take care. Yeah, Dave, we call him Hot Hand Dave, man. He's had some amazing calls this year. Last NFL season, I was a point off from being dead on both scores of the Packers-Eagles game in Sao Paulo. And remember, it was the Sao Paulo Antonio Bull, who's a Philadelphia sports writer for ESPN, and that was a sign that the whole season was about the Eagles. But if you missed the prediction for that Eagles-Packers game, just 1 point off on having both scores right, I did have Jordan Love getting injured in that game. And what I was talking about is Jordan Love had this amazing alignment with the number 77, and I said, Aaron Rodgers got hurt a number of times when he had a similar alignment with 77 when he was playing for Green Bay. It's just like Tatum gets hurt on the 71st day of his age. If you notice big sports injuries, so often they will have like the connection in numbers from their birthday that go with the team they play for. You guys can watch on Patreon our prediction before that game was played last year. It's still up on Patreon. You can see that we had the score nearly dead on. And I even talked about how I thought Jordan Love was going to get hurt in the game, and sure enough, he did. Well, what's up, Mr. 201 from LA?
How's it going? Elon Musk is also in Saudi Arabia the same day Trump is, and he announced that he's bringing Starlink to Saudi Arabia, and it's a span of 43 days from his birthday when Elon Musk equals 43, and it's the 133rd day of the year, like Starlink constellation equals 133.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes some sense. Good one.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
How's it going?
Yeah, you too. It's just like when what's the former NBA player who they just put out the documentary about, who had the gun thing? Gilbert Arenas. When his son just got hurt in the Elon Musk vehicle, it was 43 weeks from Elon Musk's last birthday that his son gets injured in the Elon Musk mobile. And plus everything else we covered about that story. About, USC's the big 43 school. Again, Charles White, the Heisman winner, dead right as Caleb Williams wins the Heisman. He's dead 43 years after winning the Heisman for USC. On and on and on. But yeah, the other thing I want to say is about Misa Hilton. I just want to go back and pull up the last ritual they did with Misa Hilton in this Diddy story. Pull this one up real quick. So on what would have been Biggie's birthday, Misa Hilton was in the news bashing Mr. Sean Combs. And I'm not sure that's the exact same post I wanted. Hold on. I think I had a different one that I meant to pull up. Here it is. This is the one I meant to pull up. 775.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Yo, what's going on, Zach? How you doing, man?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I just wanted to bring something up. Now you're talking about I was actually looking at
for some hold on, you were clear at first, but somehow it got something happened to your signal. I lost you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying. I just wanted to bring something up about the Packers now that you mentioned them.
Okay.
I was actually looking at Matthew Golden, and how he chose the number 22 as his jersey number. And right now the Packers have 21 divisional titles, so this can point to them getting their 22nd divisional title this season.
Okay, I'll have to explore that narrative. They did have the GOP convention in Milwaukee last year, and there was something about Elon Musk wearing cheesehead, so I'll look at that. Packers, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's also interesting how they keep chasing this number 22, because the last time that they drafted a wide receiver was in 2002.
Okay.
So it's 22 numbers getting brought a lot. And then also the Eagles team total in the wild card against the Packers was 22 points last season, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, man, it's just something to look at for this season. I think they're plus 280 to win the division. They're right behind the Lions, so it's not a bad future at all.
All right, we'll take a look at it. We got a long way till the season starts, so I'd wait for any bets for futures for football. I'd wait till the clues come in by the end of the season, or end of the off season.
Okay.
All right.
Any thoughts of the first game of the season of the Cowboys and the Eagles?
Well,
so
it's on a date that can be written 4-9. Eagles and Dallas, the two 49 teams. NFL's 49 as well. Super Bowl's 49. Super Bowl defending champions. So I wonder if we don't see 49 points in the score.
Also, Dak Prescott is 9-4 against the Eagles, and they're playing on 9-4.
Yeah, again, just in the most simple cipher. Eagles 49, Dallas 49, run it in reverse, NFL 49, Super Bowl in reverse 49. So, yeah, what a day for those two teams to meet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure, man. Have a good one. That's all I had for you today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, I just want to pull this up. Just when Misa Hilton first became a headline for the whole Diddy thing, they just had to do it 136 days after her birthday. You know, Misa Hilton, 136. Her number was up. Again, we're here every day just showing how they contrive these headlines. Today's the right day for Trump to be lifting sanctions on Syria by the numbers. Again, 27 date numerology, Syria 27, synced up perfectly with Bashar al-Assad's exit. I'll always tell you guys, if you've never seen the footage of back when Gaddafi was alive, when Gaddafi was talking to the Arab League, something created on 322 in 1945, look up the footage of Gaddafi talking to the Arab League about how somebody in that room is going to get treated the same way as Saddam Hussein next. The camera just keeps zooming in on Bashar al-Assad over and over. Of course, it ended up being him to get treated like Saddam Hussein next. He got stomped out by people in NATO boots. They made it seem like it was some uprising of his own people against him, which was a total load of bullshit. If you guys don't know, Gaddafi could walk down the streets with his own people and they loved him. The West tried to tell you that his own people took him out, but if you look carefully, everybody was in NATO gear. He was killed by NATO. And if he was even killed, that's a whole nother question, because you just never know with these world leaders. The world is a stage. But yeah, find that footage of him talking to the Arab League and how the camera just keeps zooming in on Bashar al-Assad, the guy with the September 11th birthday. Anyway, I got to go get Sweet Girl. Thank you again to everyone who hit the like and the share. Thank you to the super chatters we had. Mason, save your money, man. I appreciate it, though. Mike Rawson, 24 months member. That's a long time. Thank you, Mike. That means this channel's been monetized for that long, which is amazing. The longest I'd ever had a channel monetized before this channel was for about 3 consecutive months. And that said, this channel hasn't been allowed to get any views. That's been the kind of a weird thing. Mason said Brunson and Halliburton faced off in the WWE. And again, that's probably predictive programming. Pro sports are as real as pro wrestling, meaning it's all scripted. Mason's filling the New York thing. Marcus thinks it's going to be the Nuggets in the West. Maybe Marcus is thinking it's the Carmelo tribute, since that is another big buzzing story. And remember what they did. They took out Dikembe Dikembe. This whole series, if you guys missed it, this whole series is synced with Dikembe Mutombo's passing. So we had a nice big payout in game one. 55th win of the year on 5-5 for the Nuggets. Upset the Thunder as huge underdogs in tribute to number 55 Dikembe, exactly 31 weeks after his death, when Denver equals 31. It was also 148 days before his upcoming death anniversary, the 1-year anniversary, and Dikembe Mutombo equals 58 the small way, 148 the big way, like how he died at 58 from supposedly brain cancer. So anyway, we'll leave it there for now. Again, thank you to everyone who hit the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Somehow, some way, since nailing the Kentucky Derby, we're down 200 supporters on Patreon. I really don't understand that. I'm like, you'd think we'd be up like 2,000 supporters doing it again. I mean, we're fresh off nailing the Derby, the Masters, March Madness, college football, and I was just a hair off on the Super Bowl. We did hedge our bets. Everybody should have won on the Super Bowl. People who didn't listen and are hard-headed didn't, but we had Chiefs to win it in the preseason. We knew the Eagles had a real narrative. I told everybody, got to hedge with the Eagles. They got the numbers. Didn't want to see it happen, but it did. Anyway, again, and not just killing sports, but also just what we do with the news. I don't understand how it's even possible to be down 200 supporters since nailing the Derby, but somehow, some way we are. Thank you very much, Jill. Appreciate your generosity. She snuck in as the top donor for the stream. Again, appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and anything big happens, I'll be sure to report on it. However, it is challenging because I got sweet girl for the rest of the day until mom comes home, and then when mom gets home, I got a million errands to get done, and yeah, it is a time crunch. If you ever have a little one, make sure you got your ducks in a row, man, because children, they do take a lot of time, but it is worth it too. It is worth it. All right, guys. Until next time.